Hello, welcome to the Masters of Evil live podcast. I'm sick as fuck and moving to Michigan. Joined, joined with by these cocksuckers, gentlemen.
I'm not sick and I live in Texas.
Correct, correct. I am also currently not sick and do not live in Texas. But I'm going there next year for a weekend, so that should be interesting.
Where are you going again? I forgot. What city?
I'm going to be in Austin, but
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I got hit up by a venue in Louisiana that was like, hey, I saw that you guys are going on tour early next year. Do you want to stop by at our bar? And so now I'm like, do I have to plan like more dates around this or just tell them no? Because I don't know.
Y'all can come to Houston and play an apartment show inside my apartment.
There we go. Those are the best.
That'll just be me.
Special guest, the Allen.
It'll just be me sitting on my couch eating 4 Popeyes. I'm like, this is
Eating 4 Popeyes in a stainless steel bowl.
Steel bowl. This is fucking amazing.
It's like I'm really there.
I'm like, all right, you guys got to stop because I'm going to go take a nap.
The Popeyes are kicking in.
The Popeyes are hitting me. Lord help.
So, for those of you who's never watched this, and Jeremiah, who's the only person watching it right now, probably
the only person who watches it every week.
We love you, by the way. Every week we pick a book and we talk about that book and whatever else is on our minds. This week, it was Alan's pick, and he last minute said, I hate this fucking book. I don't want to talk about it. And Tom and I didn't read it yet, so we said, fine.
You know what? To be completely honest, I read like 6 pages of the book, and I hated the art. And I was like, I don't want to have to read the rest of this. And there was so much talking. I was like, fuck, man, I do not want to fucking read all of this shit.
He's a wordy writer. Everything I've ever picked up from him has been long.
Yeah, so I was just like, man, fuck a bunch of this. Like, I didn't really care for it from the very beginning. So I was like, I'm not going to make anybody else read this.
So we won't mention that book and fuck that book. And but what we did do is, so did we decide that we're going to go with single issues moving forward now? Is that what we decided?
So what I was going to suggest is, how about, since there's usually 4 shows a month, we read 3 single issues, and then out of those 3 single issues that we read, we pick one to read the first volume of.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
That could eliminate a shitty trade that we'd have to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we're reading a shitty book, we're only reading a single issue of it, as opposed to reading a whole first volume of a book.
I like that. I knew we had you on here for a reason.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
18 episodes later, and it finally pays off. All right, so let's do that. So is this issue 1 then in our 3 issue thing, or we just whatever?
Yeah, this would be the first one.
Sure. So this was Alan's pick, and we did Oblivion Song 1 by Robert Kirkman. I do not know who the artist is because I did not write any notes for tonight because, as I said, I'm sick and in the middle of moving my entire life. So
let me see. I'll look real quick.
The art is pretty dope. So Oblivion Song number 1. This was I believe this was the first new ongoing from Robert Kirkman after Invincible ended, I believe.
It's the artist is Lorenzo DeFelci.
DeFessi or something, right?
Or something,
yeah, something like that. Yep, that's right. I remember that now. So I think this is like the first big ongoing that he put out. I mean, because he's got like Firepower and Die 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 and a few other things. but I think this was like the big one.
Was this before the other one that got picked up for a TV show that he's doing? That Possession one? What is that?
Oh no! So
that was first, right?
Outcast was a single season on like Showtime or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was okay. I read Outcast. I like Outcast. Outcast is pretty good.
It's a pretty good band.
It's oh, I was like, yeah, I was thinking in my head, I'm in like the rap like Andre 3000.
Yeah.
Bro, Andre's hit on Donda is the best thing ever. Anyways, I'll keep moving forward.
I don't listen.
Me neither. It's just a joke.
Kanye West is a loser. Drake is a rapist. he's grooming fucking Millie Bobby Brown or whatever her name is.
And you're a certified lover boy. So yeah, I think so Outcast, I guess Outcast is the other one. So outside of that, this is the newest, which I don't know. It probably came out at least 2 or 3 years ago. I read
issue 33 right now.
Wow, they're that deep in it? Jesus Christ. So what do you guys think about the first issue? Donda.
I liked it.
You got to share those terrible comments.
Oh, I'm sharing them.
What does it say?
I'm going to pull up what this book is about in case no one has any idea.
So essentially, like, you have this, you are in this alien-like planet with monsters, and there is this guy, and he's fighting off these monsters, and all of a sudden, they start to not warp to.
Yeah, they warp.
They warp out of there into another place. What?
I think that, I don't know anything besides this first issue. I think it was a really good setup issue, honestly, because it kind of tells you a little bit, but doesn't tell you a lot. And then you get to meet like his brother that he's looking for at the end. So I feel like it was a really good first issue, because a lot of times first issues don't really tell you shit.
Yeah.
So I didn't love the art, to be completely honest.
I didn't either. It was okay, but it wasn't anything spectacular.
No.
So I think. Go ahead.
You have it?
Yeah, I think this is what you're looking for. So a decade ago, 300,000 citizens of Philadelphia were suddenly lost in oblivion. Capital O. The government made every attempt to recover them.
That was weird.
Oblivion, like the capital O, specifies that it's a place as opposed.
All right, we're going to go ahead and end the podcast on the capital O.
The government.
I thought you were just throwing that in there to be sassy.
No, it's capital O.
Capital O.
To attempt to recover them, but after many years, they gave up. Nathan Cole won't. He makes daily trips, risking his life to try and rescue those still living in the apocalyptic hellscape of Oblivion, capital O. But maybe Nathan is looking for something else.
His brother.
Why can't he resist the siren call of Oblivion song? Maybe. But
it was cool where the actual Oblivion song name came from, because they were talking about people that used to be there and used to be trapped there, and they used to hear in the silence. Once you actually had some silence between these monsters everywhere and this and that, you heard like these weird wailings and things like this off in the distance. And the main character said that he named it the Oblivion song.
Yeah. So the Big O, if you're talking about Big O, like the anime, absolutely, that shit's awesome. But I don't know what you're talking about.
If you're talking about going to church, like getting that Big O.
Oh, that Big O, like this one.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Like, so essentially, you have this guy, right, and like he's in this world killing fucking monsters and saving people, right? These people who've been lost in this parallel alien dimension for fucking
He's
a
a
decade.
material guy
And
material
I don't know why we review books ever at all on this podcast. It just doesn't make sense. But and then yeah, like it turns out he's pretty addicted to going there, and the one person that he saved seemingly a while ago who's helping him talks about this or is talking about the sounds that the times that he remembered it being like peaceful over there. And then the main character says, yeah, I call that the Oblivion song, which
Can I just say for a second that I hate whenever movies will say the title of their names in the movie?
So like what do you think
whenever
about
whenever that happened, I was like, fuck this book.
really? Really?
It's like, obviously we know the title of the book is Oblivion Song.
So did you like the Invincible splash where instead of saying his name, they would just show the like on the Invincible cartoon?
Oh yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about though.
Why not?
Like if you're watching like Rush Hour 3 and they're like, we gotta get to the mall, and like we can't because it's Rush Hour 3 or something like that, you know. We're gonna be stuck in traffic.
Whenever it happens, I always nudge my girlfriend and go, "They said it."
Because it happens like almost every movie. Like there's like they mention the title of the movie in the fucking movie, and that's what it reminded me of.
Well, it's kind of hard. So, like, do you get upset when they mention the Avengers and Avengers or Batman and Batman?
No,
that's kind of different. That's kind of different, though. It's not like
if they said Batman or if they said Batman Forever, in there, you know what I mean? That'd be something. But he can't just like call it like, oh, this guy said Batman, so that's the title, and that's annoying.
Yeah,
it's different.
I think I like it if it feels natural. Right. I don't like it if it feels forced. It didn't feel forced in this book. It felt like it was like I'll also say like I hate like, and this goes for music too. Like I like when the name of a song or a show or even an episode of a show like is like telling of that song or show. Like there's a connection that you can see. You know?
No, what the fuck are you talking about?
So like the title of like a song, like if the title of a song or the title of a show,
give me an example.
Yeah,
an episode is well, I mean, Oblivion Song is a perfect example. Like the
Oblivion we just said
song,
we don't like that.
No, Tom likes that. You don't like that.
No, Tom said he also hates it.
He did?
I said I hated the Invincible one.
Oh.
I did hate that. I thought it was really dumb because it like every single time it stopped the dialogue that was happening and went to the title screen. The only good part about it that I liked was that there was more blood splatter every episode. It got dirtier and dirtier.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I fucking hated that.
Julian's on my side. Predator. So I don't know. I think about like if I listen to a song and there's like some random title that has like that it's just a random title that I can't like delineate whether it has meaning or not. I don't like that. Like I like something that yeah, well, you're obscure.
But I'm also the kind of person who likes hunting for comic books when they're not in alphabetical order. And I feel like a lot of people are like, I don't like that. I want to go to A and look through the books that are titled A. For what? That defeats the purpose of comic book hunting.
I mean, it's a different type of hunting. Like hunting, if I'm going to an antique shop and I'm like looking to see what they have, I don't care what order it's in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a comic book store. I don't want to go to a comic book store and everything's just... Actually, you know what? I do want to go to a comic book store and everything's fucking crazy. There's books on the floor. People are just holding books standing in the corner for no reason. They've been standing there for hours. And you're like, hey, let me get those books off of you so I can look through them.
I want to sit in this world for a second. Fuck this book. So like like if I go to a comic book store, I judge like the comic book store based on how they organize themselves. Like because if I walk in and I'm like, hey, I'm looking for some issues of whatever, Fantastic Four, right? Like I want to be able for them to be able to like, oh yeah, here's over here is all our Marvel. This is F, and it's all you know by date. So so here you go. Like take some time, look through whatever you want. Let me know if you have any questions. Like that, I like that feeling. Like same with a con, right? Like if I go to a con and somebody just doesn't know what books they have and it's not organized, that drives me nuts. Like I don't
That's
want to buy
amazing.
from you.
That's when you know you're gonna find something that's worth it.
Sure.
Yeah. And if you don't, like if they do have them organized, you're gonna find like the first appearance of Jubilee for like $125.
Yeah.
I always base like booths that I hit at cons on their wall books, because you know how they have shit priced on their wall books, how they're gonna have everything else priced.
Yeah.
And I think when I walk into like shops, I look at the wall books as well whenever I first go in, because I'm like, they have shitty ass wall books. They probably have shitty ass books.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's obvious. If I mean, I don't I don't know. Like I think that's two different types of digging. Like digging to find a like that book that they don't know they have, that's like randomly in the mix, and
Yeah, that's me.
like yeah, I like that too. Like but I
No, you
also
just said that you didn't.
no, I like that for going to like antique stores and fucking random shit. Are you done, child? But like I feel like walking into a comic book store, I just that's not I don't go to comic book stores to find deals. Like if you own a comic book store and you don't know what you have, you're just a shitty comic book store owner, right? Like that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Like
It's very rude.
I feel
Mike is now talking about how he hates local comic book shops.
He has to support
No.
Local comic book shops.
if you go to any store, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a comic book store. It could be a record store, it could be a clothing store. Could be a
If you a porn shop and they just have dildos just thrown on the ground and they're not in plastic, I don't want to go to that fucking dildo place.
I want them organized by color and size.
Yeah.
So color first, size second.
That's
You
true.
know?
Color is definitely more important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We all know that.
I'm a teal guy, but it's hard to find them.
Yeah. I like anything, anything in the realm of magenta, I'm down with.
I like double-sided ones so I can like suck one and then smack the other against my asshole. It doesn't go in my asshole, I just smack it against my asshole.
Right. Yeah.
I'll like suck the one and get it wet, and then I'll flip it over and smack the wet end against my asshole.
Okay. Well, thanks guys for joining us.
On the backboard.
We'll see you next week. Oh boy, I don't even know where to go from here.
All right, let's rate the book.
That we didn't even talk about.
Think of it this way. Based off that first issue, would you check out the show or movie or whatever it's supposed to be?
Yeah. I mean, I like Jake Gyllenhaal anyway.
Oh, is he part of it? I don't even know.
I think he's directing and he's going to star in it. Yeah, whatever that guy's saying.
On the taint. Yeah.
So I didn't. So the
Not the
show.
taint, the outside of my booty hole.
So there's going to be a
Skipping
show
taint
about
completely.
it, and like it's already confirmed that Jake Gyllenhaal is playing this guy Nathan.
I think so. Or he's playing somebody. Let me see.
I can see that from like seeing the book and stuff. I could totally see him looking like that character.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize it was that far along. I didn't realize they were already. I
Jake
thought it was more
Gyllenhaal
like,
to produce and star in the Universal film.
oh, it's a movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I would absolutely watch this. I don't know. I want these things to be adapted to shows, I guess. But I guess go ahead. What were you gonna say?
When you look at something that's running 33 issues and still may be going, are they shooting to just do one movie, or are they going to like try and fit all those issues into one movie, or are they going to take only the first 15 and make that a movie, thinking there's going to be a sequel? Or that's why I think most of us like TV shows that way, because you can build those series for a lot longer and you can tell more of the story that you've read, you know?
Yeah. I don't think anyone makes a movie nowadays without the hopes of a sequel. Like, especially if you're adapting one medium to another. Like,
I guess it also kind of just depends on the comic book.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it's a 10-issue comic book, then you're going to get.
I mean, because if they made the boys into a TV show, or if they made it into a movie, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much as I like it as a TV show.
I agree.
But I mean, they made Watchmen into a movie, and I liked it.
But again, there you go. That's a 12-issue series, right?
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, it's short, it's quick. I mean, there's also so much to unpack on to unpack on that series. Like that, I mean, you could have.
Are you saying you don't like Watchmen?
No,
the movie.
I like Watchmen the movie. They just changed a lot of stuff that I think that was made the comic book what it was. What made the comic book so amazing and groundbreaking. That's just I like the tone of the movie. I like the actors in the movie. I like the costumes. I love the movie. I love the idea of the movie. There was just a lot in it that was just too far. I'm not the type of guy to say like, hey, follow the source material, right? Like, I don't give a shit. You write anything you want about Spider-Man or Batman or any of that stuff. Like, I don't care. But when you have something like this that's so like the story is so important to this book, to change some major aspects of it, albeit it was still good, you changed a lot of what made the book so amazing. My personal opinion. They did the same, and maybe it's just Alan Moore, but they did the same thing with V for Vendetta. They just changed so much of it, like, and I
thought that movie was boring as fuck.
Yeah, it was. It sucked. The movie was horrible.
Natalie Portman though.
Bald Natalie Portman is hot as fuck.
Chef
Julian said, "What would I have changed?" I guess he means about Watchmen. What would I have changed?
Your attitude.
Change your attitude, Mike.
Change my attitude. I think that there's a lot. There's a lot more emphasis on, or less emphasis on, Ozymandias and how evil and like what he stood for. He seemed like this more like just standalone bad guy character, where in like reality he was like this this systemic thing that was personified. He represented like this deep, horrible fucking government and all this other stuff that was corrupt and going on, and you kind of just had like, it was just a bad guy. He was just a villain. Like there wasn't that depth to him. And I don't know, maybe you can't do that without the abstract, super long conversations that he has with himself or monologues that he has. I don't know. I think, and you need the giant squid at the end. Without the giant squid at the end, what the fuck is it? Like,
that's what I was gonna say. They kind of grounded it a little more for the movie, because towards the end of the series, it got fucking weird.
It got really weird. But the obscurity of that comic book is the point of it, right? Like, it's supposed to be big and over the top. The comedian is supposed to be an over the top, like superhero, right? Like the whole point of it is to overemphasize everything that they do in there, right?
I thought it was great. Mike's crazy. Probably one of the best superhero movies they've ever made. Comic book related movies, probably the best one. The casting was amazing.
Casting was great.
An amazing cast.
Yeah, absolutely.
The chick that played Silver Spectre. Chef's kiss. That suit.
It's better when Mike does it because he's Italian, so it makes more sense.
He doesn't have a mustache, so it doesn't make
I got
any
those
sense
big lips. It's a me, Mario.
It's a me.
I don't know, Julian. Hit me up. We'll talk about it more because clearly we're not going to talk about it here on this podcast.
So no one watched Why the Last Man? Nobody?
I haven't watched it yet.
I watched the first episode while I was working, so I'm sure I missed some things. But
He said it like he was lying. I don't believe that.
me?
Yeah.
No, I did.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I've read, what is it, like 50 issues? I think I probably read like 30 or so of the 50 issues, something around there. I've read a good majority of it. So I'm saying if you want to talk about it, there's nothing probably that's going to spoil it.
Well, it seems a little definitely different. Like the book, if I'm remembering correctly, the entire time all York was trying to do was get back to his girlfriend who was in like Australia or Africa, one of those. And she's like there with him the whole time. And then when it happens, she's just, you don't see her at the very end of the episode where she might be at that time, but she's definitely not in fucking Australia. So the whole storyline of him trying to find her and going through meeting all these people to try and get to her and stuff like that is not going to be the case. So I'm kind of curious to see.
Spoiler alert, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah. You have after what episode? What are you talking about?
First episode, they're together, and she's talking about how she's gonna go somewhere, and he's like, "Oh, I'll go with you," and she's like, "No, I don't want you to put your things on hold," and he's like, "I'm performing magic at this place, like it's not a big deal." And then they get in a fight, or because he like proposes to her, and then she leaves, and then everything happens, and you don't see her after the first episode. He thinks that he sees her like at this one little part in the latest episode, but you don't know for sure if he really sees her. And then but the whole time, whenever he like reunites with his mom, he's like, "I need to find Beth," and they're like, "Well, we need to figure out like why are you the only fucking person that survived?" And he's like, "I don't care. Where's Beth at? I love her so much."
That makes more sense, and it makes me feel better because I watched it with subtitles while I was working, so I wasn't even listening to it. So, like I said, I'm sure I missed a bunch. So that conversation the two of them had, I missed that part, or part of it at least, to know she was going somewhere. So that makes me feel better.
Yeah, you only see her in the first episode, and then the whole other is like all the other shit that's happening, and then every time you see him, he's talking about, "Where's Beth? Where is she? I love her so much. She's my girlfriend."
I just love seeing Ampersand is fantastic because monkeys are fucking hilarious, and just the first episode when York is sleeping on his couch when everything took place while he was passed out, and Ampersand is just throwing Cheetos at him. He's like eating a Cheeto, and then he grabs one and just throws it at him, and then he eats another Cheeto and throws a Cheeto. Fucking love monkeys. Spider monkeys are hilarious.
I'm the kind of person that likes to spoil things for myself. And I've never read the book, so I was like Google searching like what started the virus and all that shit, and then like even in why York's the only person that survived, and there's like no real explanation for any of it. Like maybe it's the magical ring that he was trying to give to his girlfriend, or maybe it was the monkey, or
right.
Yeah, a lot of people say that like the ending of this comic is one of the best endings of any indie comic. I haven't gotten there yet, but so I'm not really sure, but that's a lot of people that I've talked to about this comic book, and a lot of the things I've read say that like it doesn't answer a lot of questions, but it also is like a really good ending.
Yeah,
So,
it's kind of it's sweet,
Super
and
sad.
things like that. You know, it's sweet and it's sad. But yeah, you still don't. I don't think it
We don't know
completely
anything.
build on those certain things. It's like you know, the Walking Dead ending. You know, Robert, the way he ended it.
The comic book, you mean? Obviously,
Yeah, the comic book where everything's still happening. It's just done.
Yeah.
They're done telling the story and it's over. There's no explanation why zombies exist. There's no nothing. You know,
I think it's okay though.
It
I don't
is.
think there's anything wrong with that. I think people need everything tied up. Some people need everything tied up into a tiny little bow and put in a package and delivered. Here you go. Here's everything you need. And I think if you tell a story well, you don't need that. Like I almost like it better that way.
I have a feeling they will tie it up though as a TV show.
Yeah, probably.
You know what I mean? So, because I think enough people that watch things will get very upset if there's no definitive answer to why something happened or why they watched, you know, 4 seasons of something and never got an answer to what was going on. You know what I mean?
So it's on Hulu. Do we know how many episodes the first season is? Supposed to be 10 or 13 or something like that.
I don't know.
No, we're at 4.
I know it comes out every maybe Sunday or Monday. Because I know it's on Hulu every Monday. I don't know if it's coming on like FX or some other show, or if it's just going exclusively to Hulu.
It's FX with Hulu, so I think they were putting it out on FX beforehand, but they premiered the first 3 episodes on Hulu all at the same time. Yeah, so I don't know if FX played all 3 or how that worked. But
and who watches normal TV anyway?
I know, right?
I started watching the Walking Dead I hopped into like season 9 of The Walking Dead. Because I was like, I watched up to the Negan part of the show, and then I was like, I remember them getting in a thing, and then they end up throwing Negan in a cell. So I hopped into season 9 of The Walking Dead to like wind down at night after like playing video games all night, and I'm like addicted to this shit now. I'm like, why the fuck am I
really
watching it? Yeah, it's actually pretty good. And then there was like a part where 2 of the characters are hiding. And like the one guy falls off the water tower and like hurts his leg. Eugene, the like guy, talks really weird and shit like that. And they're like hiding in mud, and the zombies are going by them, and the zombies are talking to each other. And I'm like, no.
Oh, it's Alpha.
Yeah, I know where you're at.
Yeah, that's like Alpha. Yeah,
they're real people wearing zombie skin on their face.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Real people.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
so
Alpha and Omega.
Yeah, and she's like the bald chick, and they have no names, right? Yeah, it was
an interesting storyline that was in the comic.
It was fine. I mean, like everything else with the like Walking Dead, like I read it all just because I needed to, right? Like just because I had to, but like I mean everything after Negan was fine. It was okay.
No, Negan was the best thing. Like
I think the Governor's the best personally. I still think like those early like the Governor's just the whole idea of what that was pretty fucking brutal. I mean Negan was brutal, but then they ruined it because then they made him like they gave him like they made you feel something about him, like some type of sympathy or empathy for him, and I just don't want that. I don't want that for those kind of people. Just fucking put an arrow or a bullet.
I just want to see you bash fucking Glenn's head in and have his eyeball pop out of his fucking
that was great. I think that was the last thing I watched of the show. They killed Glenn, and I haven't watched it.
In the 9th season, Maggie goes to Alexandria to kill Negan for killing Glenn, and then Negan's like, just kill me. I'm trying to do it myself. I want to be with my wife. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that I think that happens in the comic too.
Well, in the first part, whenever she first walks in there, he's like bragging about killing Glenn and how he loved fucking. He's like, I can't even remember his name. What's his name again? And I'm like, yeah, that's how I would do it. And then he's like, kill me, please. And I'm like, God damn it.
I don't remember. I think something along those lines happens, and then he goes in jail. Either way,
I mean, I like if the like I would be Shade if the fucking zombie apocalypse happened.
dead.
Well, I would be killing everybody. Like I like there's like one part in the TV show where him and you remember the big.
So you'd be fucking other people's wives, is what you'd be doing.
There's not enough fucking in the show, to be completely honest. Because if it's the end of the world and I'm in a big group of people and I have like a fucking mate, we don't like I'm like bumped up with a lady and me and her are like, hey, I'm fucking this lady every episode of the TV show.
Right, because you could die tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I would just be like, hey, you know what? We're a big society. Let's just have an orgy every day. I would suggest that. They'd be like, shut up, Alan. I'm like, okay, like, maybe we should have an orgy.
Alan, in my society, you're the first person I'm throwing over the wall to the zombies.
They're like, you know what? We should probably rebuild society. And I'm like, no.
Right.
Let's have an orgy. Let's make some toilet wine and have an orgy.
I'm down with the toilet wine.
Orgy Alan.
Yeah. All right, so Oblivion Song, Why the Last Man, The Walking Dead. I mean, it all comes around, it comes full circle. We're back on Robert Kirkman. Let's rate Oblivion Song real quick, and then we can continue with this nonsense. I'll go first. I don't know, 3 and a 3, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I'd probably give it exactly the same thing. It's hard with the first issue because I do think it did set up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know exactly where they're going to. Well, it's a place. You know exactly who's there, like the type of people that are there, what's going on over there. See, I knew you had supporters in here somewhere.
Yeah, we have royalty in the building tonight.
Yeah.
You can't join in the orgy. You have to watch.
Yeah, 6, solid 6. I'll read the next one if I have time.
Orgy Master?
Oh, I'm sorry. Some guy just texted me about his fucking tattoo on his arm. He's like,
tell you how much
my finished left arm is getting lots of love. It looks awesome, man. Thank you. And thank you for your patience with my weak, slow going skin. It's like this. I don't know what
you want to have an orgy?
Yeah. You want to
tell him you're busy having an orgy. Leave me alone.
I'm busy having an orgy. Quit texting me, please. It's like this guy that tattoos like a lawyer, and literally I can tattoo him for like an hour and a half, and then his skin just becomes so irritated. And I'm like, cool. And what sucks is it's like a half sleeve, and he pays for it up front. And then like it should be like 2 sessions if he would just sit. Like I would do like the outline and then do all the shading, but it ends up being like 5 sessions, and he's already paid, so I'm having to go in and like work, and then it's like, cool, all right, we're done. And then it's like, we'll come back and finish some more, and then like it comes out.
Yeah, but it's hours though, right? I mean, it's not like it's taking you longer. It's just
but because I have to, I'm losing out on money that I could be tattooing people and making money, as opposed to having to tattoo this guy 5 fucking times.
Yeah, and every time you have to set up and clean up and do all that stuff.
Yeah, so it's just And then he tells me fucking stories. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why. I mean, I like. I mean, because I go into it thinking like, okay, we're gonna do this all, one day, maybe twice. It kind of depends. It's not anything crazy, and if he could sit, I could do it all in one day, and that's what the original plan was. But then it just turned into. I think I've worked on it for a lot. Yesterday, it was the 6th time I worked on it.
Alan, what's the longest you've ever sat for a tattoo?
Getting or giving?
Hours. How many hours? Yeah, 8 hours.
That was just
How about you, Tom?
The outline on my back.
How long did your back take?
My back, I've actually broken up into like 3 and 4 hour days, but the longest I have sat was almost 8, and it was something on my leg. The guy was just really fucking slow.
Yeah. My longest was just over 6 hours. But
now that I think about it, I have like a Skeletron tattoo that's like this big by this guy on my thigh, and it took about 8 hours because he tattooed really fucking slow. And I couldn't complain about it because I got it for free. So
yeah. And it's good too. It's cool looking.
Yeah. He also did a Mega Man on the back of my thigh that like fucked up really bad. He had gotten some like new ink he had never tried before, and he was like, "Hey, do you care if I try this new ink?" And I'm like, "Of course not. Like, you're giving me a free tattoo. Like, why?"
On the back of your thigh too. So who gives a fuck?
it fucking scabbed really bad because it's all like, I mean, it's like a Mega. It's the tattoo doesn't really make sense because it's a Mega Man helmet and blaster, and then it has a skull inside of the helmet, and I'm like, Mega Man's not a person, so he wouldn't have a skull, but whatever.
He's a robot.
It's a cool tattoo, but the whole tattoo, like all the blue, fucking scabbed really bad, and I was like limping around, and it was horrible. But it's a free tattoo. So back of the thigh sucks.
I could imagine. It's super soft skin. Yeah, that's like.
And I hate getting tattooed. I'm a baby.
That's why my back's taking so long.
Yeah.
Because I always thought too, I was like, oh, the back won't be that bad. I love getting back scratches. I was like, it'll just be like a aggressive back scratch. No, fuck, man.
It's horrible.
I don't understand how many girls were like, I know it was a generational thing or like a time period thing where tramp stamps were like all the rage, but that part of my back fucking sucks. I don't think
it's the worst
doing that. Yeah.
I don't like the people who say like, oh, it doesn't hurt, like it's not that bad. Like you're a fucking liar. Like that's like it's not about whether it hurts or not. It's about like being able to deal with it. Like it's
I
more
can't
of
deal with it.
Like it hurts, but like I could sit there and take it and like deal with it. But if you sit there and say it doesn't hurt, you're a fucking liar. Or
it's awful.
I don't know. You were beaten raw as a child. I have no idea. I don't know. But like that's just fucking straight bullshit.
I forgot. I was going to talk about my horrible eBay selling experience.
Oh, let's talk it.
Rate that up. Yeah.
So
rate the book real quick. Rate the book real quick.
I'm gonna say 7.
7.
3, 4. I like the story. I didn't really. The art just seemed kind of like it was just wasting a lot of space.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this too. Like, I think like I started reading this. I probably read 1 or 2 issues and then just stopped. Rereading the first issue, I want to now buy the first 2 trades and read it. So
I want to read more of it.
Yeah, I want to read more of it. Yeah,
to see if him and his brother kiss.
Yeah. Tell us about eBay, Alan.
The cool thing that leads to stuff with me. With his brother and whoever his brother's hanging out with, you can tell they've been there for a long time because it looks like they're starting to grow like scales or something. I can't tell that's on their skin or on their clothes or what. Yeah. So I'm curious about that too, if they're like mutating or if that's something totally different.
I'll be right back. Okay.
So anyway, now that Mike is gone.
Finally.
Orgy. No. So it was like a nothing comic book that it was like some Invincible Iron Man. It was like I remember the issue, but I sold it for like $18, and I think total it came out to like $23 with shipping. And I shipped it in a Gemini mailer, and I put like some cardboard in there to like make sure it doesn't. And it fucking.
Sorry, I wanted to point out that people are like, finally he leaves. But we can't do it in your comics, so we don't have that option. He's the only one that can do that. So I wanted to bring that to attention for anyone else that noticed. But anyways, go ahead.
So the guy gets I guess, because you know how fucking you always run that risk of someone's gonna bend the comic book. It doesn't matter how you can put a fucking piece of steel in the fucking Gemini mailer, and someone's gonna figure out a way to bend the fucking comic book.
He's still here. He's just doing something. There he is.
And so the guy sends me like a message, and he's like,
I just ate a meatball.
You're so fucking Italian.
I literally just ate a meatball.
He's like, all right, I feel better now. Like whatever. What is it? and the wedding singer whenever he's teaching the old lady piano lessons, and she's like, "Let me give you some meatballs," and he just like putting the meatballs in his hand. So the guy sends me a message, and he's like, "Hey, the package got bent in the mail." And I couldn't remember if I did like the liability insurance on it, which is like super cheap. It's like $2 maybe tops even. But I didn't even care. I was just like driving. I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna offer this guy a fucking full refund. And then he started sending me like 12 messages, and it was like, the book got bent because you packaged it wrong, and you gotta have respect for comic books. And even if you gave me a refund and I kept the book, I wouldn't be happy with it, and all this shit. And I'm just like, bro, you're tripping over a fucking nothing book that obviously was bent in the fucking. I didn't pack it up and go, here I go. I'm gonna send this to this fucking guy, and it was just, I don't know, man.
So you said you put cardboard in a Gemini mailer too? I mean, that's like extra above and beyond. Like, what could happen to this book?
I mean, I don't know. Like, you always get like, I've had, I've had mailmen shove fucking Gemini mailers into mailboxes, or for whatever reason, they maybe put something on the Gemini mailer and the thing is bent. And then he was like, and then he sent me a picture of, he was like, also, like, he after he sent like all these messages, he's like, also the centerfold is detached. And I'm like, there's no way, man. Like, I didn't even want to argue it. That I was like, hey, man, I sent you a full refund. Like, sorry that happened to the book. And then he left me a good review. I was just like, man, I'm not even, like, I was so heated while I was just driving around. I was like, why does this guy keep sending me messages? And
I feel like there's got to be an assumption of risk when you're buying comics from someone you don't know, especially on eBay. But I won't say just on eBay. I'll say IG, any of it. That's going to be shipped in the mail, especially across country. Like, you're buying a single issue of a comic book that's going to be shipped to you across country. Like, you're making some type of assumption of risk. Like, the fact that it's in a Gemini mailer should all, like, if somebody sent me a book, it was in a Gemini mailer, and I opened it up and it was fucked up, I'm going to think, not this person's an idiot, but like, hey, they did the best they could, and whoever delivered it is a piece of shit. Like, what do you think is happening? Like, do they think that you followed the book in your car and would get out every time they stop and like stomp on the book a couple times and be like, yeah, fuck,
I'm like driving side by side the fucking mail truck, just looking fucking crazy. Like,
I can't wait till this book shows up and he's angry that I sold him this horrible book and packed it shitty. Like, now listen, like, if you send it in a fucking an envelope with nothing on it, without a board, like a plastic bag or a poly bag or anything, or a board on it, then you're just like, either you don't know what you're doing, or you're a piece of shit, right? Like,
that literally happened to me from a publisher not too long ago. And it was so shocking to me.
That blows my mind. And
it happened twice. Once it was from Heavy Metal. Heavy Metal sent me 2 variants, not in a bag or board, and they were just in a plastic, bag with one piece of thin card. And I was like, I just bought 2 variants from you, and you just threw them.
Did it get fucked up?
Yeah, they did, and I threw a fit. I was real fucking mad. The other one.
I will say real quick.
Go ahead.
Comics are not shipped bagged and boarded. The comics are shipped in bundles, like just raw books with nothing on them, whether it's Diamond or anyone. So I think that, like, that as a practice. Also, though, like, if you're shipping like 100 issues of Spider-Man 50 whatever they're on, right? Like, you're not going to bag and board all that. But
yeah, but those are also being shipped in like big ass boxes. They're not being shipped in these little fucking.
They're not sending 2 issues of something in a single plastic bag. You know what I mean?
So that's what I was going to say. I feel like if somebody buys a single issue comic book from you, like, publisher or not, put it in a fucking bag and board.
The other one was
those freezer storage bags,
right?
And I just spit into the bag.
The other one
this fucking dries and hardens up behind the comic book.
It was a fan club exclusive variant that you could only buy if you were part of the Patreon of this company. Plus, the writer artist drew on the book and then sent it to you and everything. And yeah, it came in a regular like plastic mailer, or not plastic, but what I'm talking about. And it had the one thin piece of cardboard in it. And sure enough, yeah, it was fucking folded almost in half in my mailbox because there's no support in it. And I was super shocked that someone who has been working in the comic book industry, a person that created their own publishing company and then sent out books this way, I was very surprised. But I don't want to, not that they're ever going to see it, but I don't want to talk.
Do you guys have like a legitimate, like Tom, like in front of your house, do you have like a mailbox that people drop mail into your house?
I have, I have a mailbox. It's like a
like
a mailbox.
So like I live in Vermont, right? And like I live in the middle of nowhere, and I don't get mail to my house, so I have a PO box. And ever since I moved to a PO box, never had an issue, because they won't stuff shit that doesn't fit into your PO box into it. They just put it on a shelf, and then they give you a little card that says, "Hey, we have something back here for you." Yeah, it's a little yellow card, and then I bring the yellow card and I say, "Hey, PO box, whatever," and they say, "Okay," and they give it to me. So like I feel like I've never had to deal with that, because if somebody ships something shitty, like they're not going to be like the mail person's not going to be tempted to just fold it and shove it in there,
right?
Which what other choice does that person have? But I don't know.
Get out and drop it at your door. We've I've either had comics shoved in my mailbox and bent so they could fit, or they've been brought to the door, or I've had poster tubes like rolled down my driveway, just like off in the fucking driveway, just laying there. And my roommate will come home and be like, "Hey, look, your mail's here." And there's just like a fucking comic box and a poster tube like in the middle of the driveway. And it's a fucking load of garbage. So I've been shipping everything to work, because it's going to everything's going to be delivered before 5 o'clock anyways, before I go home. And we have a huge mailbox. Plus, if it's something that doesn't fit in the mailbox, that guy will walk it into our building and hand it to our security guard. And our security guard just texts me and he's like, "Hey, you got an Amazon package." I'm like, "Great." So much easier. I have thought about buying a bigger mailbox, literally because of that. A bass-shaped mailbox is not something I've thought of, but that's very, West Virginia.
It's a Billy Bass. Whenever the mailman gets close to it, it starts singing.
It flops like this, sings to you.
Yes, he has to like wait for it to stop talking to slide the mail into its mouth.
You know what they say about West Virginia? Everything's bigger and better in West Virginia, right? That's what they say.
No one says that.
Anyways,
Luckily, I live in an apartment complex, and there's no way to jam I'm sure if they wanted to, they could jam a Gemini mailer into a apartment mailbox, but usually they just throw them on my porch. And then I worry that someone's going to steal the comic book but I live on the top floor and everyone's pretty chill, but
it's all those crackheads below you that you're worried about.
It's just the fucking Hispanic family that blares music all fucking night. And like it's crazy. They listen to music so loud all the time. It can be like Thursday at like 11:30 and it's just like fucking blaring fucking. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, speaking about places to live, I'm moving to Michigan in pretty soon, like October 15th. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, but
I was laughing at that comment.
That's Texas.
No, that one.
Hey, you know what? But they're super chill though, because they're always like making food and giving me food. If I'm like coming upstairs, they're like, "You want some food?" And I'm like, "Yes,
yes, I do."
Uh-huh.
I will deal with your fump music at 2 a.m. for food.
Yeah, I'm in Texas. I am the state of Texas.
It's
Eye
true.
of Texas.
He's huge.
Eye of the tiger.
Where are you, near Houston, right?
Yeah, I'm in Houston.
Yeah.
So where are you moving, Mike?
I'm moving to Ann Arbor, the Ann Arbor area of Michigan.
Apparently, I have a buddy who used to live in Michigan, and the comic book hunting scene over there is really good. Like, there's tons of fucking little honey holes out there.
So I have been doing some research and like just reading a bunch of stuff, and about many things, houses and school districts for the children and that stuff. But I've also been thinking about comic books, and bro, there are so many comic book shops, and like
Are you gonna live close enough to a comic book shop that you could go
every Wednesday? Yes.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna live in Ann Arbor. Like we're flying out there this Sunday. So we're leaving Albany at 6 a.m. We get there around like 9:30, and then we're just fucking house hunting, doing some shit, driving around, looking at the areas, and then coming back Monday night. So we're just there for one night. But
when you leave, is it Sunday?
Or this Sunday, yeah. So, but whatever. My parents are watching the kids, and me and my wife are going to go to Ann Arbor and stay in a hotel for a night, and
Everything gonna fuck.
have an orgy. Alan, you're invited.
How long did you say it takes you to get there?
The flight is like a direct flight is like an hour and a half. Yeah, no, I'm not. It's an 11-hour drive. I'm not driving. But yeah. So, but I was doing it. Like, there's a ton of fucking comic book shops and like small, like little, like those like hotel swap conventions, like all over the place. Like I found like I was looking at like a con list, and like they have the big ones like whatever it is, like Grand Rapids and I think like Great Lakes or something like that. But then there was like a list of like every weekend there's like some comic book swap or something. So yeah, I'm fucking stoked about that.
You might have to go to Michigan. Apparently, man, I feel like the East Coast, like they just have better little fucking places to pick and shit like that. Like, there's not really like in Houston, for being the third biggest city in fucking the world. Like, there's just like no place to go to fucking look for comic books.
Where I live, there's absolutely nothing. There's not even. I mean, I have antique shops, and I've been to every single one of them.
It's like a one-horse town.
Yeah,
it's one horse.
Literally. So we don't have one horse, but I'll give you a little insight as to where I live. We literally have one stoplight. Period. And it's actually not even in my town. It's in the town.
Great story, Mike.
So there you go. But no. First of all, Michigan is not the East Coast or any coast. It's Midwest, because you said the East. But yeah, I mean, I'm
sorry, Christopher Columbus.
Yes, I am Christopher. It's another Italian reference. You guys wouldn't get it. What I've decided to do is I'm going to try and get as close to Tom while staying as far away from Alan as possible. So I'm just going to traverse the northern states of the United States until eventually I get
you're
to.
Actually, probably closer to me than you are to California.
Well, I'm working my way there until I get to Washington. And then once I get to Washington, then I'll just go straight down from there.
Yeah, there you go.
But, I'm just staying along the Canadian border all the way over.
Smart.
So trying to stay as far away from you, Alan, while getting as close to Tom as possible.
It's weird because I'm driving to Michigan on Sunday.
I would love that. My wife, she'll deal with it.
They're like, hey, I just drove here. I don't have a place to stay. I won't be sleeping in the bed with you.
Literally, the last thing my wife said to me before I came down here, we were putting the kids to bed, and like they are relentless. Like they just like they've been sleeping in our bed like fucking every night. And she literally looked at me and she was just like, I can't wait until we could just sleep in a bed together without the children. and then you just said like, "Hey, I am sleeping in. I need a place to crash." And I just in my head, I pictured my wife just like stabbing me in the neck like repeatedly.
So there's a comment there that says, "Go to Screwed Up Records and Tapes." Are you talking about somewhere in Texas, or are you talking about somewhere?
Yeah, it's in Houston. It's like the DJ Screw, there's like a big thing in Houston where they chop and slow the music, like rap music, and it's like there's a DJ named DJ Screw, and there's like a place where you can go, and it's like you can visit. Yeah, I'm from Houston. Don't fucking tell me things to go to in Houston. I live here.
I don't think I would like that, but I'll go check it out.
It's like a part of the culture, I guess.
Yeah, and music in general is cool to see.
Yeah, chopped and screwed music. It's just like it's like that. They take a song and they slow it down, and then like they kind of.
Oh yeah, I know what it is. Yeah. It's it's a southern thing.
Because I'm trying to decide if I want to book other shows around that date in March, or if I just want to go out there and hang out for like 4 or 5 days and just like fuck off,
Yeah, I mean, Houston's only a 2.5 hour drive from Austin.
Yeah, and I have a friend that lives in San Antonio, so I know he wants me to hang out with him too. So we'll see.
You want to come to Texas in March?
Yeah, I'm playing Nosferatu Festival in March in Austin, Texas. So March 5th, the first weekend of March.
Fuck.
We're going to Austin.
Yeah, we're fucking shit up in Texas, and maybe going to Louisiana apparently. So we'll see. We'll go hit up Ricky in Louisiana and make us drinks all night.
Is he a bartender?
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a fucking bartender, and we went to Tennessee, and he was talking about all these drinks he was going to make, and he's like, "Does your girlfriend likes fruity drinks?" And I was like, "She's a girl. Of course she likes fruity drinks." And he was like, "I'm going to make all these cool drinks." That guy didn't buy a single fucking bottle of alcohol the entire time we're there. Didn't make anything at all.
Not once paid for drugs.
Nothing.
Hey, he's your friend.
Not anymore.
I was upset. I wanted those drinks.
Well, I'll make you some drinks next time I see you. I make drinks all the time. So
you're gonna have to make food for us.
Yeah, I want food from you more than drinks.
Yeah,
I can do that too.
Yeah, I see like the pictures wherever you have like friends over to your house and you're like cooking food that I've never heard of before.
Massive amounts of meatballs.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I just make piles of meatballs all day long. I'm rolling meatballs right now, like down here, just like rolling meatballs.
We don't like you jacking off, but you're just rolling meatballs the whole time.
Well, yeah, when you see me going like this, it's not. I'm just making meatballs.
He's not trying to stay warm. He's making meatballs.
Making meatballs.
I don't know what any of that means.
Remember that loud pop?
I assume that he means you were driving somewhere and heard a loud pop, and his transfer case. Yeah.
Wow, that I assume that's bad. I don't know what that is in a vehicle. It sounds bad though. That sucks. I do remember that pop now that I established what we're talking about.
You forgot. Tom was drunk.
I was drunk that time. It's true. I bought a bottle of Captain and I think finished it. I don't know. I was peeing off the balcony. I sent you those photos and stuff. But again, we're going back to $1,700. Yep, that's not cheap. Well, I'm glad you took me to the zoo that day. That was nice.
I'm glad we went to the zoo.
So what else? So Star Wars? Let's talk about this. So Star Wars Visions. I don't think you guys have watched it yet. I was watching a little bit of it, obviously, when you hopped on.
Did it just come out today?
Yeah, I think it just came out today. Okay. I'm not like there's not much that like I'm like super excited about like recently, right? Like when the new episodes of Titans comes out, like I'm not like I gotta watch it once it comes out or anything. But when this came out today, I was like, oh, this is out? Really? I forgot about this. And then I watched the first episode and I'm like, this is fucking amazing. And I watched about half of it so far, and it's pretty fucking amazing in my opinion.
They're just one episode?
No, like half of the. So each episode is only like 15 minutes.
Okay.
So it's like individual stories. They're short, they're shorts, and each one is a different animation style. It's got different artists, different writers, different characters. Like they're just standalone stories in the Star Wars universe, and it kind of reminds me of the Animatrix, but for Star Wars. That's what it's like. So it's just like I believe it's like maybe like six or eight shorts. But I watched like the first three, and it's like I don't know. It's like some of the best stuff I feel like I've watched in a while. There's 9 of them.
So it's kind of like that Love and Robots on Netflix, but all about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Where it's a bunch of different art styles, but it's all about one subject.
Yeah.
What was the Batman Gotham Knights?
Yes. Yeah. What was it called? Yeah, where like the little kids are telling the stories about how they saw the Batman, and one's like,
it's like all different animation styles.
Yeah, very, very, very similar to that. Yeah. So like that Animatrix, Love and Robots. Yeah, there's no like through line story throughout the thing.
It's like Ed, and Eddie, but anime Star Wars.
Yeah. I love
show.
Ed and Eddie. Plank. Ed and Eddie's the best. So I don't know. I the first one is absolutely the best so far in my opinion. It's like that black and white Ronin, like it's like Seven Samurai-esque, just like old school fucking sword fighting. It's just amazing. I thought it was fantastic.
2 dicks slapping against each other. Oh, you're talking about like sword fighting. Okay.
Always about dicks. Anytime I'm talking to you, Alan, I'm talking about dicks.
2 men just slapping their fucking meat whistles
2 men,
together.
2 dicks, 1 leaves.
For honor.
For honor, yeah.
You've forsaken my honor. Let's slap dicks.
God, Jesus.
Oh, your fucking honor is making me hard. Well, I'm hard too. Hard on honor.
Hard on honor. That's a
hard on honor. So I picture that as hard on, comma, honor.
right.
Oh boy. Well, so I mean, you guys haven't watched that, so we can't talk about it. But it's fucking fantastic. I think Tom. I don't know. I think you should watch it, even if you don't like those 2 things.
Tom doesn't like anime or Star Wars.
I know. That's what I just said.
Let's throw Batman into the mix.
I watched part of it with you,
Yeah.
and for what it's worth, it looked neat, but at the same time, it's 100% the style of like fighting and things like that I don't like.
Yeah.
It is the anime it's anime style of everything.
So let me give you. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, which is fine that people like that. A lot of people like that, and it looks neat.
Yeah,
but it's not for me.
Yeah, that's like I get that. So let me give you episode 2. Episode 2. No, wait, totally different, right? So episode 2, totally different art style. It almost looks more like that kind of like, I don't want to say like what is it that we read? I Kill Giants. A little bit more of that, right? So a little bit like more like like campy in the art style, but it's about this like orphan who starts a punk rock band with a bunch of aliens, and one of the aliens gets hunted by Boba Fett and arrested to go to like to get killed by Jabba, and at the end they're just like at Jabba's palace, just playing their biggest live show ever. And at the end of it, you know, I won't spoil the end, but it's just about these fucking this rock band.
He's trying to trick you.
Is in no.
I see what's happening here.
No, I'm
There's
serious.
this punk rock band, and
No,
they
I'm
like
serious.
horror movies.
Yeah.
And one of
They
them
live in
works for
California.
one of them works for the water company. And,
No, but I'm serious. So the second one's like, it's just like a band. They're playing. They're at a gig. Boba Fett shows up and is like, Jabba sent me for you, and they fight. Whatever, shit happens. Long story short, like they end up playing their biggest venue to save their lives. Right? It's pretty cool. It's fun. It's like it's anime. It's very distinctly anime. So you have to, you know, that art style is there, and it's that more campy, like big eye, little kid type thing. But it's super fun. Like I enjoyed it. I think it's worth it. I think you should give it a try.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give you an okay.
Okay. Okay. Fuck you is what that was.
Whoa. I would never say that to you, Mike.
wow.
What else have you been watching? Anything?
Nope, that's it. Roll us out, Tom.
Yeah, I don't know. We establish the next single issue that we're going to check out?
No. One of y'all have to pick it.
Mike's looking for something over there. I don't know.
He's just like looking around. Mystery and Batman.
What have I not read that I've owned for 2 years?
Oh, I have so much of that. Jesus. Well, I think, what are we going to do? We're going to stick with indie.
Yeah.
And
have the Comixology horror stuff dropped yet?
Oh, the Scott Snyder stuff?
Yeah, has that dropped yet?
I don't think
Oh
so.
no, I guess we have to read something that has a first volume to it.
Right.
So that would kind of leave that out.
Yeah. Do we want to?
Okay.
Since we don't have anything currently, we didn't make a list yet that we should do. Do we want to go with one of the suggestions that was given to us by other people? The Recount was one of those.
Oh, yeah.
And I think there was one more. Maybe.
No idea. Recount was definitely one of them. I think that was J2 had told us about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I mean, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm definitely picking all books that I've never read. Yeah. So issue number 1's of books I've never read.
I can think of one off the top of my head that I've been wanting to read, and I have like a lot of the single issues I just haven't read. It's an Image book called Sons of the Devil.
Is that the one? Is that like a picture of him like grinning, and he's got like the little devil horns on the cover?
I'm not sure. I'm looking at the volume 1 right now, what it looks like, but
Never
it says like Sons of the Devil, like real big on the title.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't think I've ever read it, but
City sent us his choice that I think he mentioned before.
Oh, that's right. The Many Deaths of Leah the Star. Yes, that looked awesome. Yeah, Sons of the Devil. This is the one I was thinking about.
Yeah. But I mean, I've already picked something, so.
Well, this is what we're going to do. We're not picking a book right now. We're going to each pick 5 single issues, and then we're going to randomize them.
You want to do that? Well, do you want to pick something tonight and then do that for after?
No, we're not going to do that because we have one of y'all have to pick the next. So y'all have to pick the next two, and then we got to decide which one we're going to read the first volume of.
Right.
I guess we could pick all of them, or we could just each week. Y'all could.
How about we do this? Since we've already read one, great. We need two more to then choose the volume at the end of the month. So why don't we just go with the two recommendations that we have before we make any other actual list?
But are they full?
I feel like there's a difference between like.
There's at least 5 issues of each one. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's pick one.
Let's since it's the first thing I see right now, let's do the many deaths from Ram V, who's currently writing Swamp Thing.
Cool. What is he called?
The Many Deaths of Layla Starr.
Yeah. So there's 5 issues.
That's perfect. So it'll give us one full trade to read if we decide that we want to finish this one. Because that's all we wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you pull up a cover and take and share with the rest of us there, Mike?
I can.
You should do that.
What the fuck did I just click on? I wish you would have moved to the background and it would have been Dr. Manhattan sitting on there with his dick out. That would have made me laugh.
All right. Is it funny? Like, do you guys think that you could literally pick up a book or, start on page 1 of a book, not knowing anything about it, and then pick exactly what publisher put it out? Do you feel like you could do that?
I do feel that way. Yes.
I want to do that. I'll even sit out or something and pull 5 books or something and just pull 2 pages out of those 5 books and then have you guys guess what publisher it is. Because I feel like it's really obvious for most of the things.
Yeah, I think that
I 100% would have called this a Boom book without it.
Yeah, I feel like there's some that I can do that. I feel like I know. Well, I mean, Vertigo doesn't, right? But I feel like I know, I know Aftershock, I know Boom, I know
I would do Image, Dark Horse, Boom,
Dark Horse.
And maybe
I think Aftershock.
Maybe Aftershock or Black Mask, one of those two.
Yeah.
Or Scout even. But
I feel like Black Mask is very it's very they have a style that's very recognizable for sure.
IDW. I mean,
oh yeah, I forgot all about them. But that doesn't work because that's all properties that we know.
It's all IP, yeah.
Yeah. So great. I'm super glad that we're going to read The Many Deaths of Layla Starr over this next week to talk about it the week after, a week from today. And then when we come back on that day, we will have a brand new list of 5 books apiece. Right? 3, 4.
So say 5. You. 4, 5.
5.
6.
I don't know.
7, 8.
Whatever works out. So we'll have new books to choose from. As Alan said, we are going to read the first issue of each book for 3 weeks in a row, and then decide which trade we're going to read out of those 3 books, depending on which one we liked the most. Do we want to go by the rating score is which one we decide on? Because what if one of us loves the book, rates it high, the other one fucking hates the book? How are we going to decide at the end? We have to go by the score of the rating, right?
I think we do combined rating. So whatever the combined score among the 3 of us, the highest one wins.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next week.
Wait. Also, Tom has another video from his VHS thing that he's doing with Ricky and Matt, right? Ricky and Matt?
Yeah, that's coming out tomorrow at 6 o'clock Western time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're gonna we had to postpone a video a little bit, so this one's talking about our favorite tape in our collection for each of us. So if you want to check that out, you can.
Also,